What's up, guys? It's Kictor, and you know what? You don't get Stitch today. You've been too spoiled lately. It's just me. You gotta join the membership for Stitch. That's what she said. Those were her exact words. What's up, guys? Today, Stitch and I were in, I'm sure you guys are sick of us talking about it, but like wedding planning hell. We had so many meetings, so many little things, just the last little tiny things, you know, but we're almost there. But it was good. We went for a little walk right before the stream. Now I'm ready to read. I'm so ready. Who's here? We got Just Another, Sugar Kiss, Mizuki, Annika, Bellawin, Kit Poe, It's B, Honey, Quinn, Emma. What's up, Emma? Weird T, Vico into Kitchen, Beef Leaf OTP. Best name. Best name in the whole chat. Moade Cherry, Lunar Skies, Little Patat, Alice Candy, Mimi Q, Crystal, Literally Longa, Jung Rulian, and many more friends. How is everybody doing today? Sugar Kiss says, 1 more week. I know. What's up, Rose City Kimono? Rose City Kimono says, I'm always torn on the reading stream. I want to watch and listen, but I also want to read my current book. Stream always wins. Aww. You're too sweet. I'm glad you like to hang out. I love looking forward to the streams. I also just want to do a quick little promo for our little wedding sticker on my site, Kictor.com. If you want to help support our wedding, you can buy our little wedding sticker. And let's see. Robin Aster Magic says, I put my book to the side for the stream. Aw, you put your book to the side for Little Hong Honger. He said, oh, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the stream. Nobody listens to me. Jung Rulian says, I have 2 different streams going. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I see some guys saying you're doing good in the chat. Great. I'm glad to hear that. What did I miss? Did Briarbox say they were here? I think I saw their username. Crystal says, I want to hug him so much. I know. He used to have a little bandage over his eye too, but I think I lost it. I see, speaking of losing things, I see Chuanning's mini doll little crown on the ground, and also some Danmei character's white boots on the ground. Give him Gojo's bandage. Like, do I have a white Gojo bandage to give him? I could also just get a bandage. I could also get a piece of white, a strip of white from Stitch. She'll have anything fabric related. White boots could literally be anyone. Hey, Kate, how's it going? Kate, you celebrity zine star, you. Shalian lost his boots, always going barefoot. Just Another says, well, I'm about to eat. What did you eat today? Oh, I had an applesauce for breakfast with a little Americano. And then for lunch, we made spinach pizza and fries. And I just had a little iced shaken espresso. And then for dinner, we're having salmon. Show us your shirt. It is Phoenix Wright and my man, Edgeworth. I'm now on Bridge to Turnabout, which I've heard is like the best Ace Attorney case. Stitch and I this morning played a little bit before all of our meetings. We beat the case with baby Edgeworth. Briarbox is allergic to salmon. No way! Oh my god, that's awful. Salmon is so good, and so much like sushi has salmon on it too. Kate says, I went from being in no zines to being in way too many zines. No, it's so cool. Kate's in a zine with Ruthie. Is that not just the fucking coolest thing in the world? Who use homophobia? Thank you so much for joining. It says, all of the people who convinced me to watch the Motosushi Donghua, I want you all to know that I'm violently screaming, crying, throwing up. Yanli. Ooh, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. It's so good though. But yeah, that's tough. Oh, thank you for donating. Kate says, I'm also in a zine with Bora now. Oh my god. Oh. I should have assumed it's Junlian. That's amazing. Oh my god. Quinn says, does your detective game have an anime? It sure does. There is the Phoenix Wright anime, which at first I was like, oh, this is so bad, but I come to love it. I love the anime so much too. It follows the cases pretty closely. They changed them a little bit. The game's definitely way better, but the anime's great. The dub is quite funny. They took some liberties with the dub, I will say that much. Horror Girl says, what are you guys doing this Friday? Oh, Friday. Yeah. Maybe Frantic Fanfic this Friday? Oh yeah, we never got to talk about Stitch's bachelorette party, which kind of got a little bit crashed because one of her best friends ended up being sick and couldn't come. So I filled in the place for everyone else. So Stitch didn't get to have a bachelorette without me, which is kind of funny. Moe Mellon says, congratulations on your wedding. It's so exciting. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's so sweet of you. Yes, we're very, very excited. Kate says, if we do Gartic Phone, Spark Major has an incredible prompt. Okay. I mean, I want to do Gartic Phone, so that would be good. That would be good. And that'll be the last member stream before our wedding. That's crazy. That's crazy. I will try and do a member stream on our wedding for a little bit to tune in and say hello. The wedding is March 7th. So less than 2 weeks away. It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. That song. I love that song. K Moment says, I'm almost done with The Wife Comes First Volume 1, and I'm waiting for Mistakenly Saving the Villain Volume 2. Oh, very nice, very nice. Hey, you know what's something else kind of exciting that's coming out soon? It's like Dan May adjacent, is the Alien Stage art book. It was supposed to be out already, but I just got an email from Indigo saying that it's coming out soon. I think March 10th. Fun little wedding present. Kate says, is there no stream on the 5th or the 6th then? No stream on the 5th or the 6th, yeah. Because we have people coming over. So maybe Stitch and I could do something on Wednesday. But we'll have to figure out next week what next week's going to look like. We have our last dance lesson tomorrow. Pretty exciting. Stitch and I don't like dance. Like, we know how to dance at a club, but we've never done like a choreographed dance before, but we've been doing dance lessons for our first dance together. Lunar Sky says, are you excited to be married? I'm so excited to be married. I'm so excited. Quinn says, do you think we can watch the Tgcf OVA together? I definitely gonna have to make a video about that. Yeah, and go live. Is that tomorrow or the next day? I'm so excited. Kate says, I can't picture Stitch at the club. It's like imagining Shay Ching Chung at the club, minus the horrors. Stitch has like... I don't know how to word this. You know that song that's like... I'm trying to think of the words to be respectful. Stitch, it's surprising because she seems so quiet and reserved, but like she can tear up the dance floor. She has the Yuri Katsuki effect, let's just say. She can be sexy, which is insane because like I cannot. I'm usually just laughing and having like just like, yeah, you know. Like, when I drink, I am, like, super excited, super energetic, just, like, so happy, like, let's go, you know? And Stitch doesn't drink, but she when we're on the dance floor. You know, she can just, whatever the vibe is of the song, she can match it, which is just like insane. The OVA comes out on Saturday. And CSCL, thank you so much for donating. Oh my god, with the recap, dude. Oh, I'm so excited to read today. CSCL says, recap, flashback 3 years later. Shailan is a flourishing god, but struggles with rules and powerlessness. A young and stranger brings news of a drought. I'm yawning. It's crazy. Hong Honger is offered a reason to live, +1 red umbrella. Laugh or cry counter, 13.5. Oh, yes. That's a perfect recap. You're so good at that. You're so good at that. Yes. Yeah, we met Lang Ying, which is very interesting. Different from the other Lang Ying, confusingly. Rotten Girl says, what song are you going to dance to? We're dancing to Merry-Go-Round of Life from Howl's Moving Castle. And Moade says, have you guys ice skated before? Yes, we have. Yeah, Stitch is learning to skate. Oh, and I scored in my hockey game last night. I scored in under 1 minute in the first period. Like, right off the bat, I scored, and it was awesome. And then we lost 7-2. But I scored, and the other goal, I assisted, so. Hey, Broccoli Fox! I was just curious if you're going to be here. Briarbox has been a member for 31 months. Oh my gosh, Briarbox, thank you so much. And says, I love being at work in the dark by myself, writing spice. It's not even for a Danmei show, but someone very close to me wanted it, so I must provide. Oh, what is it? Oh my god. That's exciting. Hell yeah, I love writing. That's wicked. Horror Girl, oh my god, thank you for joining my membership. Thank you so much, dude. Oh my gosh. Broccoli Fox says, so I'm here to learn more Kictor lore. Oh, yes, yes. If you have any questions. We've got another 15 minutes before we begin reading, if you got any questions. There is a lunar eclipse on March 3rd. Oh, cool. I love a little eclipse. Are the pop-ups not working again? Yeah, they're not working again. It's been a bit finicky lately. Let's see if Kevin will fix it. Kevin, please donate. Oh, the test alert didn't even work. Kevin's donation. Whoa, I don't know why it's not working. That's okay. I might have to reset my stream thing. Kevin fucking unsubscribed, yeah. Let me try one more time. Oh! Kevin donated $4. Okay, here we go. Are you gonna do the lift from Dirty Dancing? We have 2 dips. Actually, we have 3 dips in our dance performance. And we're getting it all filmed. We have a videographer and everything, and we'll definitely be sure to upload our wedding video for you guys. That'll be so awesome. I don't know anything about Alice in Borderlands, but I have heard of it, yeah. Broccoli Fox says, how good are you at driving, especially on ice? Oh, I definitely don't have a ton of experience with, like, winter road driving. I have slipped on ice before. I think I'm a pretty good driver, though, because I drive a lot. Oh! Gee, the Pirate Wish, thank you so much! Says, Kevin, return dance for us, Kevin. Yes! Kevin is the Windmaster, actually. Broccoli Fox says, you don't? I don't. Yeah, it doesn't get too cold up here. We don't, like, it. We got our first snow just the other day, and then it's already all melted already. Did you choose Kevin, or is he chosen by YouTube? Kevin, I think, is the test guy for Streamlabs, which is the website I use to like do the custom alerts. Kevin is the Windmaster's English name. Yes. Leo says, I'm going to send you and Stitch's package tomorrow, so it should arrive sometimes next week. Hopefully we get a chance to open it together on stream before the wedding. Oh, awesome! Oh my gosh! That'll be so exciting. Yeah, maybe we can do a stream Wednesday if we got anything. We can open it before the wedding then. Next Wednesday, yeah. Kevin, you had one job. Claire says, I'm trying to remember the character in Kictor's hat. Oh, yes. Does anybody know it? It's B Honey says, I have a music box with the merry-go-round of life that I got in Korea. It's so nostalgic. I love that song. Oh, yeah. No, it's such a romantic song. It's so good. Should be 3 days till the OVA comes out. Oh, okay. Kate says, put on the Bingha wig and then go to the club. Oh, you think I'm sexy in the Bingha wig? I definitely feel like sexy when I cosplay, I guess. Don't you know the Windmaster? Kate says, not to be weird, but yes, I do. I love that. Thank you so much, Kate. You just look good with black hair, okay? That's so funny. I think Stitch has gone on record to say that I look bad with black hair. Or like, it was basically her, no, or was it blonde? I can't remember what it was, but it was about me dyeing my hair. It wasn't about wearing a wig. Because she was like, do not dye your hair. That's so funny. Thank you, Kate. Night Owl says, okay, I'm here and no one should pull me away from the stream tonight. I swear it's happened twice in a row. Oh no, I'm pulling you back, Night Owl. Bingha should have been at the club. Picture Bingha at the modern club with Shen Yuan in the modern extra. What are they doing? Oh, they're leaving. They're fucking in the bathroom, or they're leaving and blowing each other in the alleyway outside. They are not gonna be in the club for long. Moday says, I remember your hair in the Hualian Chord Maze vid. That was a short black wig. Dye your hair fire truck red. My hair used to be red. Now oh my god, I look crazy today. Look at my hair is fucking Ah. Kictor blonde sounds crazy. Oh my gosh. They are hooking up in a dark corner of the club. Yeah! Kictor, how indecent. Keep going. I love that. I feel like if that was to sum up like something from my channel, I'm just like, oh my god, I can't believe she said that. Keep going. It's so funny. Bingha mad dogging anyone who looks at Shizen. Yes. Yes. He'd be so possessive. It's like he would be so possessive, but he'd also, I feel like, be so normal. Like, I feel like he would be like, yeah, Shizen, we're at the club. Yeah, there's some music. That's pretty cool. You want to get out of here? Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm just, it's such a cliche. It's such a stereotype, but I am just like such a sucker for like a modern AU like clubbing scene where they're like grinding or making out, or there's like another character there and this gets a little jealous. Like, oh, it's like, it's such like, what's the low-hanging fruit, you know? It's so easy. It's just like all the sexual tension is already there, but I love it. And for every single ship, I always like read or write some sort of clubbing scenario. There's just something about the club. It's so good. Oh, Kit Post says, we saw you blonde for the last Silent Hill stream. Oh, yeah. Dude, when I think back to the Silent Hill days, that feels like a fucking fever dream. That was crazy. I was, like, obsessed with Silent Hill for that 1 month of playing it. I was so immersed into it, and now it's, like, completely gone. Like, not completely gone. I still, like, really loved it and was immersed in it, and you know, but, like, I think playing that game as much as I did was the best way to do it. Like, I was so in it. Binga misunderstands and brings an actual club. Shut up. I love that. I love that. It's B Honey says Wangshin have crazy tension, so the Wangshin clubbing fix where Lemonji already does want to be there and wants to get Wei Wuxian out of their bad. Oh, so delicious. Yes, yes, you get it. And like Lemonji just like you know, standing there, not doing anything, just staring, watching him, and Wei Wuxian's on the dance floor, like you know, dancing and flirting with everyone and drinking, doing shots off of other people, and Lemonji just has to stare and watch. Ah! And oh, it's so good. Orion, I love that. That's so funny. Holly and Wood both hate the club, but think the other like it, so they just hang out there like, haha, yes, so much fun. That's funny. Yes. And listen, the club is so good because then you can always warp it so that there's like a slow song that comes on, and then it can get kind of sappy or romantic, you know. That's always good for like a wedding fic or oh, I also love like a business banquet. Oh, I'm such a sucker for a business banquet. Ranwan at the business banquet dancing with your boss secretly. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, Beef Leaf. It's great. It's always great when there's kind of like the crazy character that like belongs in the club and is like guiding everyone at the club. Chi Ching Chuan's there. Blackwater's there. Or, you know, Blackwater's the fucking bartender. It's great. Crimson Queen, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Thank you so much. There's some really good like Lan Qichen, Jing Guanyao modern AU fix where Jing Guanyao goes clubbing with Ni Huaiseng and he's always thinking about Lan Qichen, and then he gets drunk texts and stuff. Feng Xin in the club. Oh, yeah. What's like a good Feng Qing club dynamic? Oh my god. I feel like wouldn't Mu Qing just look kind of sexy in one of those like black mesh tank tops? Oh my god. Feng Xin's there dressed just like some dude, but he's like jacked, so he looks good in like a tight t-shirt or something. Quinn, thank you for donating. Windmaster would slay at the club, 100%. Windmaster has her fan. Function being scared of women and Mooching making fun of him. Yes. Well, if you're so scared with all the women, then why don't you dance with me? The gifted membership showed. It popped up. Briarbox says, if you like the death game trope, I recommend Alice in Borderlands. It's not my first pick of shows, but my best friend loves it and got me into a ship that is fun to write spice for. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know it was a death game. Rose City Kimono says, hey, that's Hua Chung in the black fishnet top. Windmaster would wear one over a bright teal bra. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Night Owl says, can I interest you in a game that has crimson butterflies? Oh, yeah. What is it? Superior Court says, I used to be a go-go dancer and I feel like Windmaster would be down. Yes, right? Oh, man, I love the club. Oh my gosh. When I was in university, we went clubbing all the time. It was so much fun. And now I want to throw all my clubbing days onto my Danmei boys. Oh, Fatal Frame 2. Yeah, I've heard of Fatal Frame. all of the Fatal Frame games have something that really seems like a TGCF adjacent, you know? Because Fatal Frame 4 has like the water ghost thing, like Hushuen. Fatal Frame 2 has the red butterflies. I feel like one of them has... Is there another one with like a green lantern or something? The second one is the best. Okay. Well, maybe for like another scary stream thing we could do it. That'd be fun. Kate says Shaylin is the only person at the club in a knitted turtleneck. Yes, yes. Ugh. I wanted to be like, oh, what, like Shay Ching Chung at the club? And I'm like, take Shay Ching Chung out of the club. He's been to the club too many times. Oh my god, Leo, he accidentally printed 10. Kicked her club era photo reveal. Oh, I have a good one. I don't know if I can show that one. Let me scroll all the way back. Lanchi Chen at the club, what happens with him? I feel like he gets drunk and he's like a little silly. He'd probably be chatting up everyone. He's like hitting on the bartender. He's hitting on Jing Guan Yao, who owns the club. You've never been clubbing because it's too scary? It's not scary. I feel like clubbing has that thing where it's like, oh, it's like late at night and the music is so loud and there's a bouncer and everything and you're like, oh wow, like it's because this is pretty crazy, and you get in there and everyone's a loser. Anywhere you go, anything that seems intimidating, you get inside and you're like, oh, we're all just losers in here, you know? But the thing is that like every club is different, so it's really the best if you can kind of like test out a couple of them, you know? And then you can find the ones that have the vibes and the music that you like the best. Club ain't so bad, says Orion's Belt. You just gotta go with someone and it's a fun time. Yeah, going with a group of friends is definitely the best. Everyone is a loser except for Windmaster. Broccoli Fox says, clubbing in Norway is weird, although might also be the town I live in has less than 15,000 people in it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You go to the club and you recognize everybody. Oh, I found it. I found the clubbing era. Oh, brother. Oh my god. I feel like I just haven't changed. I just had long hair. It says going to the club or going to the gym. Because I feel like I never knew exactly what to wear, because I was in this weird mix of like trying to look girly but also not owning a lot of girly clothes. I would just wear tank tops. This is me. That's what my hair looked like naturally. And then that's me on my hot girl shit. Who is that girl? That's me and Connor. I wonder if I type in like, oh, here we go. I mean, every clubbing picture is just gonna look like this, you know? Like, we're at the club. You can't tell, but I'm definitely wasted. Briarbox says, with long hair, you actually look like my best friend. I need to unsee this now. Oh no! What year was this? That was 2018. Yeah. Oh. See, I feel like I only cut my hair. This is a good one. This is a good one. This was actually that was for a photography thing we were doing at school. That's not actually what it was like. Okay. Ooh, Junmei at the club. Yeah! Seeing your parents at the club. Seeing your parents at the club. You're taking your boyfriend and friend to. That's great. Someone has to write that. Oh my god. How come I've never considered Junmei at the club? I love that. Oh my god. Kate says, I need to see Goshi get down now. That's so cute. Oh my god. I love them. Going as like chaperones, but then, you know, like they end up making out by the end of the night. Oh my god, you guys are so nice. Thank you guys for saying that I look pretty with long hair too. Thank you. Sienna says I thought that was Chapel Roan at first. Oh my god. It's giving Chapel. Chapel Roan? I can't believe that. Yeah, I had long curly red hair. Broccoli Fox says, no, I don't recognize anyone, but they recognize me, which is weird. Not because of me either, which makes it worse. At least know me because of me. What do they recognize you from if it isn't you? Rose City Kimono says, I feel clubbing solo wouldn't be fun. It's more of a friends group activity. I have a friend that actually goes clubbing by herself all the time. She just loves to dance. And she's married, leaves her wife at home, and is like, I'm going dancing. Kohaku Tsukino, happy birthday! Oh my goodness, happy birthday! I hope you have a great day today. Faith Brush says, Junwoo at the bar is giving grandpa vibes. Yeah, hot grandpa though. Let's not forget, Junwoo's hot. And he also has a hot, twinky state preceptor boyfriend. Oh my gosh. Leo says, I went to print your letter today. I accidentally printed 10. Send them all to me. Oh my gosh, Broccoli Fox says, my mother is a physician. Oh my, so everyone's like, oh yeah, can you go tell your mom who's the doctor? Oh, that's awful. Telling them their entire medical history. That would be so annoying. Spazzy, I'm sorry you're having a crappy day, but yeah. Oh my god. Okay, is Kate in the chat still? Kate, you gotta draw Junwoo and Guoshi making out at the club. Brayley says Tgcf live action would have Junwoo with a beard. Oh, no! He's sexy. Kate says, I'm here, I never leave. Yay! Miss Rosie says, I just finished my tattoo. It took all day with 4.5 hours of tattooing, and it looks so good. Check the community page. It's Churin and Kieran. Okay, oh yeah, we gotta look at the community page. Stack posted their lineup layout. Oh yeah, I gotta post mine. Oh my gosh, we have our wedding, then we have my birthday, then we have SacraCon. It's literally like the best spring ever. Broccoli Fox says Junwoo gets the daddy mustache that's just so slightly 2-bit old looking. Yes. Not the Dan May mustache. Kate says, what if I draw Junmei at the club but Junwoo has a beard? They need to be making out so hardcore that you can't even see the beard. Doesn't matter. You can't ruin this for me. Okay, let's look at this. One more time. Oh, dude, that's fucking sick! Holy shit, dude, that is so fucking cool. Dude. That looks so good. That looks so good. Oh my god, hell yeah. That's wicked, dude. Thank you for sharing this. Yeah, I love all the colors. You have some freaking wicked tattoos now. I can't believe this. That's really good. Rose City Kimono says Goshi needs to bend and snap to get Junwoo's attention. Oh my god! Goshi bending over in the club? I can't. Why am I obsessed with this now? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like that's a dynamic that Stitch and I could do. I feel like we could do Junmei really well. I think she would do sexy Goshi justice. Tircella says another drawing from my work bestie. I definitely feel like the mushroom being cozy. Oh, that is super cute. Are these ghosts cooking together? That is so cute. Stardust says, just drew my first TGCF fan art. Oh my god, that is so cute. Aw, I love that. And they're covered in the red string of fate and the butterflies. That is so cute. Holding each other's hands. That's really precious. Oh, Justin Eller's gonna watch Anastasia. Very nice. Nelly says, Your Highness, I know everything about you. Oh god. Look at his eyes. That's the trauma. Oh, that's the trauma. Yeah, that's a fun scene. That's a fun scene. And oh yeah, the new TGCF short film's coming soon. RA is drawing. Stop it. These are so cute. The Hushay chibi stickers. Oh my gosh. That is super cute. Okay, with the puppy dragon and the jellyfish or without? Oh, I like them with them. That is so cute. Aww. I really love how you drew them. Hey, Cat's House is my new favorite layout. My sticker book and John Lu Feng stickers are from Kate. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Aw, anime lover drew some Hualian hands. And Kate's gorgeous art. And Kate, I'm just teasing, is going to draw Junmei at the club next. Guy says, are you saying you're manipulative? Of course. I somehow got Stitch to love me. Sugar Kiss says, what's your exact birthday? My birthday is March 30th. Yeah, I feel so lucky. I'm getting married on March 7th, and I feel like March is like my favorite month because my birthday's in March, and 7 is my favorite number. So I'm like, that's so cool. One more time. Shaney says, I still can't get over what they did to Niming Jue in The Untamed. How dare they? I know. And you know, his actor, Niming Jue's actor is so hot. Like, he could be like a hot fucking idol guy, you know? Just like seeing him in interviews with everyone else, he's super hot. And they nerfed him with the mustache. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. Are you 30 yet? I will be turning 30 on the 30th. How auspicious is that? Yeah, and then right after SacreCon, it's going to be the best time ever. Why all the facial hair hate? Hey, I mean, you know, facial hair? Listen, I love Tony Stark. I think Tony Stark's little goatee mustache thing is like the epitome of sexiness, okay? And I also like the guy from the Hunger Games with the flame beard. I think that's sexy. Mustaches can be sexy. But I feel like it just doesn't look good on the Danmei boys. Yes! Lunar Skies! Yes! Precisely! Lunar Skies says, now I'm just imagining Junwoo pinning Guoshi to the bar top and just holding his chin while trying to keep his attention. Yeah! Yes! Dude! That's the sauce! That's the sauce. Yes, my champagne birthday! Yeah! Hell yeah. I'm so good at popping champagne now at this point. On my, like, bachelorette party, I got to do it a few times. I got to do it with a sword! We went to a fancy restaurant, and, the guy showed me how to open champagne with a sword. Jude Law can pull off a mustache. Oh, yes, yes. Night Owl says, I was just about to ask about a sword. Yeah! No champagne for you. Do you own a sword? We don't. Stitch and I actually want to get a sword. We think it would be cool to like have like a, make it like a symbol of our relationship or something. And we kind of wanted to do it for our wedding, but it ended up, we didn't want to rush it. And we didn't want it to be like a sword that's from like some sort of like IP already. Like we already own some swords like that. Like, I mean, like I have the Master Sword. But we just want to get like some fucking cool ass random sword, like a medieval sword, but not like a specific one from like Lord of the Rings or whatever. And so we were like looking at Fan Expo, and a lot of the ones that they had were like swords that already belonged to some sort of character or whatever. Yeah, we have Ming. I have all of the Modazushi swords. Yeah, we need a little saber. Night Owl says, my dad has one of those and he loves showing off cutting the champagne with it. He taught my brother and I to do it occasionally too. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's so fun. That's so fun. Spazzy says, Shalian sees Junmei getting it on at the club Hua Chung owns. Yes, he's like, oh my god. Guys, my like kind of dad, not really dad, father figure guy is here. Kate says, my husband's friend is a blacksmith. He could make you a sword. Oh, really? That's cool. Get a custom sword. Use homophobia. Thank you so much for donating. Says, the mustaches make them hotter, Kictor. It's funny because it kind of looked like the Windmaster was the one saying that. Do you think Windmaster would think Ming Yi's hot with the mustache? I think she would. I think you're right. He sells swords that he makes himself here at Comic-Con. No, oh my god, no way. Hey, maybe and I mean, is he Canadian too? Maybe we could work with him. That'd be cool. For our anniversary. I think she thinks Ming Yi's hot no matter what. Yeah. I always think it's funny when you know, like, there's some characters where you just, you know, like, they would have 5 o'clock shadow. Like, sometimes in fanfics, it's like, oh, they wake up in the morning and they're, like, touching their lover's face and he's a little stubbly. And then sometimes you'll read that for a character and you're like, he's hairless. There's no way he's growing a beard. Hey, Raina! Oh my gosh, love to hear that your surgery went well. That's awesome, dude! Raina, thank you so much for donating, and says, hi, Kictor. Surgery went well. Eating apples and watching your stream will heal me very soon. Oh, yay! Oh my god! That's great! Glad to hear that, Raina. Thank you for checking in. You know what's hotter than one sword? 2 swords! Are we talking about swords or dicks? Shaylan being like, 2 swords? How about 200 swords? Oh, well, not anymore. Technically, it was only 1 sword over and over and over again. Ryan says Hua Chung is destined to have morning stubble. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Hua Chung would look hot no matter what. I could see Hua Chung pulling off a mustache and beard. He is a master of disguise. Kate says, my fanfic jump scare is in smut when they talk about the bush. Then I just readjust my expectations and it's fine. That's so funny. I feel like 90% of the time no one ever mentions anything, but every now and then, and it's always when it's a really good writer, they'll go way too in detail about it. And you're like, oh, okay, sure. Okay, and like, I'm picturing it a little bit too much. Oh my god. Robin Aster Magic says he could kill a 5 o'clock shadow. Stop! Oh my god. Kate, yes, it's either they don't mention it at all or it's the only thing they mention. That's so fun. It's so true. Oh my god. Leo says I rolled over laughing earlier and accidentally fell off my bed. Oh my god, I hope you're okay. Yes, Shenshingcho shaving and then gluing his beard back on. That's cute. Imagine like Bingha in like the modern world, like watching Shen Yuan like shave in the morning. It's like he barely gets any hair. And Bingha being like, what are you doing? It's not like is that really doing anything? It's like, yes, I have to shave every morning. He's like, okay. Kate says, once I get this Junmei at the club done, I'm drawing Gaga with a beard now. Hell yeah. Broccoli Fox adding 2 red beads for eyes. That's crazy. That's crazy. CLCL says, Bingha would be that lucky jerk just being like, I just woke up like this. Yes, exactly. The protagonist halo also goes towards if he wants to shave or not. It's Me Honey says, we need to start reading. I'm having too much fun. Oh my god. You're all deranged. Hey, we're having fun. Aria's drawing says, I think I need to draw the case file club scene. Volume 6 specifically, though. Ain't now in the second volume. Yeah, the club scenes are a little different. Kate says, I've read fics where they mention Shalian's unshaved legs. Interesting. I feel like I'd always just assume that they're unshaved because they're boys. Or because, you know, anime boys in my head are also kind of just sleek, I guess. In the club, we all fam. Brock! You are so funny. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god. Hey, I mean, no hair? They might not even have nipples. We've all seen Free. Kate says they need to be aerodynamic. Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's so funny. You guys are so funny. You guys always make me laugh so much. All right. Well, I suppose we probably should get to some reading. Keep the funniness going, you guys. You guys are the best. All right. No nipples. How will Shaylee feed his children? Oh my god. Oh, not the children. Oh my god. This Connor, holy shit. Connor's mom just pet a whale. And he sent me a video of it. That's nuts. Anyone here ever pet a whale? Okay. All right. Chapter 32. Deficient Rain. The Rain Master lends the rain hat. Oh god, this is crazy. Okay, back to the drought. The boy was left completely and utterly stunned. Meanwhile, Fengxian and Muqing both wished they could grow several more arms and legs to go smother Shalian, and it was with great difficulty that they finally pulled him back. Damn, guys, you gotta remember, they're in the shrine with Hong Honger. They're not in the club right now. CSCL, thank you so much for being a member for 13 months. CSCL says, as good a time as any to say, make sure to hydrate. Yes! Drink some water. It's good for you. In the shrine, we all fam. All right. If they had just been in the club. Okay, the boy was left completely and utterly stunned. Meanwhile, Fengxian and Muqing both wished they could grow several more arms and legs to smother Shalian, and it was with great difficulty that they finally pulled him back. And yet, Shalian effortlessly pushed them away, declaring, all right, I'm done. I know I broke the rules, but if you just pretend you heard nothing, all will be well. As long as you guys don't say anything, no one will know. It's just this once. Don't say a word. Do you hear me? Muqing looked like he'd been forced to eat a sock. He shook his head, muttering, I can't believe you, saying something like live for me, so unapologetically. You're really... Shalian didn't think what he said was much of anything at first, but hearing Muqing, now it sounded like it was quite something indeed, and he flushed bright red. Fengxian immediately turned stern. Enough! His Highness already said not to speak of it, so why are you still talking about it? Yet the corners of his own lips were twitching as he spoke. Shalian couldn't stand it anymore and defended himself. What? What? What I said clearly worked. Look. The boy sat in a daze for a long while, but when Shalian's voice didn't return, he rubbed hard at his face and reached for the offering plate on the altar. He held it in his arms and started eating the shriveled fruit and refreshments. He chewed and chewed vigorously, looking like a pitiful, vicious, small animal. Shalian bent down to watch him, a smile spreading across his face. You see? He said to the other two. It worked. He refused to eat before, but now he is. All right, fine. It worked because you're God, Muqing said. Right. It worked because you're a god, Fengxian said as well. Shalian straightened and grew serious once more. Indeed, I am a god. I called you both over because I have come to a decision. That's crazy. Hey, God! God! This is, I think that's so funny, them being like, yeah, it worked because you're a god. In an instant, the relaxed atmosphere turned heavy again. What do you want us to do? Fengxian asked, while Muqing queried, are we still getting involved? We are. It's simple, Shalian said. There's not enough water in the kingdom of Shanle, so we will go to the kingdoms outside Shanle. Go to other kingdoms? Muqing asked, sounding doubtful. Won't they be too far? We need to borrow water-creating spiritual devices from some water god and impose on the territories of other heavenly officials. They might not be willing. Of course, Shalian had considered this. I'm going to give it a shot. It's still better than doing nothing. You two stay and keep watching over young Anne. Lend assistance to the worst affected areas, and I will return to the upper court. Any problems with that? No problem. I've got your back, Fengxian said. Muqing gave it some thought and said, but what about all the prayers from the devotees at the temples of the Crown Prince, Your Highness? I was getting to that, Shalian replied. Pick out the important ones and take care of them for me. The not-so-dire ones can wait. Muqing appeared rather reluctant, but still acknowledged the command. You're the Crown Prince, so we'll listen to you, but I advise not letting them wait too long. Shalian patted their shoulders. Fengxian and Muqing bowed, then departed, leaving only Shelian and the child in the small shrine. As Shelian exited the shrine, he took a brief glance back. However, he didn't stay a moment longer, and rushed straight for the heavenly capital. Initially, he had planned to pay a visit to any of the heavenly officials who controlled water, but strangely, they all seemed to be on leave and absent from their respective residences in the heavenly capital. Only the Rain Master, who didn't reside in the heavens, was on active duty. As Shelian hurried down the streets of the capital, he bumped into a black-clad female official carrying an armload of scrolls. She smiled. "Your Highness, you're finally back." "Nangong, perfect timing," Shelian said, then immediately asked, "Do you know where the Rain Master's residence is located?" The black-clad woman was named Nangong Jie, and she was a low-ranking civil official from the middle court. Since Shelian's ascension, she was the one taking care of much of the bureaucratic grunt work and related errands. She was well informed about current events and handled cases adeptly, so Shelian thought highly of her. "The construction of Lord Rainmaster's new palace isn't complete yet, but a temporary residence is situated in the kingdom of Yushi in the south," Nangong Jie said. She gave him the address to the Rainmaster's residence, then inquired further. "Why are you looking for the Rainmaster?" "Urgent business. Thanks for your help," Shelian said. He was about to leave, but turned back and cleared his throat, sounding embarrassed. "Nangong, you're more familiar than I am with the heavenly officials of the upper court. Can you tell me if Lord Rainmaster likes anything in particular?" When new heavenly officials ascended, the more astute ones would pay visits to the palaces of every official and greet them with gifts as a social salutation. This was pretty much an unspoken rule. However, Shelian had ascended too suddenly, and no one taught him when he first arrived. It was only afterwards that the state preceptor reminded him, but by then it was already too late, and it would have only made things awkward. Also, to a crown prince like Shelian, it felt too much like backhanded bribery, and he didn't appreciate the practice. In the end, he decided to just go about things naturally, hoping for a chance to build relationships with the other officials through more genuine means. It was an admirable idea, but now, as he turned back to it and proactively asked what a heavenly official would like, it sounded quite like he was about to bribe someone. He couldn't help but blush with shame, but he had no choice. The other gods who resided at the heavenly capital communicated through the spiritual communication array, which would have made negotiations much easier, but the Rain Master did not communicate in this manner, and Shelian didn't want other gods to misunderstand his intentions, to think he was looking to borrow spiritual devices for nothing. Nangong Jie immediately understood. "Regrettably, I'm afraid I can't help your highness in this matter. Lord Rainmaster is quite low-key. I doubt there's anyone in the entire heavenly realm who knows the Lord's personal interests, myself included. Sorry." How are you supposed to reach her? Smoke signal? Shelian reddened. "No worries, don't take it to heart. Thanks." "But if my lord needs to, it won't hurt to simply pay a visit," Nangong Jie added. "By understanding of the Lord Rainmaster's temperament, you might still be granted an audience." Shelian thanked her again and followed her direction southward until he arrived at the temporary residence of the Rainmaster. It was a small village surrounded by green mountains and clear waters, a land of picturesque scenery. But Shelian had no mind to appreciate it. He crossed through the ridges and fields and finally saw a stone marker with the word rain engraved on it. Sorry guys, my group chat was going off fucking crazy. Like I have my notifications to my watch. Because Connor's mom pet a whale. As you can imagine. Okay. The Rainmaster lives in a beautiful place, but Shelian can't appreciate it because he's like, it's not time to appreciate the land. He crossed through the ridges of the fields and finally saw a stone marker with the word rain engraved on it. Logically speaking, after passing the stone marker, he would be in the temporary domain of the Rainmaster, and those working within it should be the Rainmaster's subordinates. But as Shelian walked, he only saw lush green fields all around. In the fields there were oxen mooing, mills turning, assiduous farmers planting rice stalks, and beside the fields there was a small, crooked, thatched cottage. There was neither trace nor sign of divinity, and Shelian wondered if he'd gone in the wrong direction. Wasn't this simply a small, impoverished farming village? Amy says, "You can carve your message into a vegetable, throw it in a river, and hope it eventually reaches her." Yes. . As he doubted himself, a black ox in a far field let out a long, lowing noise, and another. Then it stood back on its hind legs, and its forelegs stretched out in order to remove the plow from its own back. That strong, solid body narrowed, the long oxen's snout shrank, and in the blink of an eye it had transformed from a sleek black ox into a farmer, stripped to the waist. Hello, sir! The farmer was tall and strong, his muscles well-defined, and the contours of his face hard. His nose had a polished iron nose ring hooked through it like that of an ox, and a long grass stalk hung from his lips. The other farmers witnessed this extraordinary transformation, but continued to work like it was nothing. Shalian concluded that no one here was mortal, and approached, raising his folded hands in courtesy. Fellow cultivator, seeing a man transform from an ox into a sexy, like, ox man, and then saying, fellow cultivator. May I inquire whether this is the temporary residence of the Lord Rainmaster? The black ox farmer pointed to the field bank directly across and replied, yeah, Lord Rainmaster lives there. ... Shalian looked around several times before confirming that the only thing in that pointed direction was indeed the thatched cottage. It looked like it would topple from a mere breeze, and it surely leaked on rainy days. Haha. Even his most shabby, decrepit shrines looked solider and more respectable than that little cottage. Shalian was amazed. They said the Lord Rainmaster was of royal descent like himself, from the kingdom of Yushi. It was for that very reason that he didn't bring any precious gems or rare treasures as a greeting gift, thinking perhaps that the Rainmaster felt the same way he did about those things, which was nothing. Why live in such destitution after ascension? Maybe it was another form of cultivation? Mindful of his manners, Shalian thanked the farmer and approached the little cottage, calling with a loud, clear voice. Lord Rainmaster, please forgive this Prince of Shanla for making an abrupt visit without prior notice. There was no response from within the cottage. The farmer ambled over, hauling the plow along after him. Oh, you're that crown prince who ascended at age 17? Regrettably, Shalian said. Nothing regrettable about it. It's just the truth, the farmer said. But Lord Rainmaster doesn't enjoy entertaining guests and was injured recently, so I'm afraid you won't be received today. Shalian was disappointed at hearing this, but still wanted to keep trying. Then may I ask you to pass on a message for me? I have an urgent request. However, if Lord Rainmaster should feel inconvenienced by it, I won't persist. The farmer chuckled. No need to pass on any word. We all know why you're here. Feels bad, right? Having no water in Shanla. Feels bad, huh? Shalian was taken aback. You know of Shanla's affairs, sir? Of course I know, the farmer said. And that's not limited to just those of us on this middle-of-nowhere mountain. Right now, who doesn't know that the catastrophe is about to befall your kingdom of Shanla? You don't know anything about your own affairs, but everyone spectating understands what's really going on, and they're probably all enjoying the show. Haha! You're here to borrow the Rainmaster's spiritual device for disaster aid, right? Those were enlightening words. It was only then Shalian realized those heavenly officials in the upper court weren't coincidentally all gone at the same time. They all knew what his intentions were and purposely shut their doors or left in advance to dodge him, to avoid being dragged into his mess. He sighed. Should I have paid everyone's palaces a visit at the beginning? Would that have made it easier to find someone willing to assist among my peers? It was a depressing thought. He responded in a small voice. That's right. If I am causing trouble for the Rainmaster, I will not pester any further. Man, It's Be Honey said, damn, must suck. Literally. However, Farmer said, why won't you pester? Because it's shameful? This is about the survival of your kingdom. Shouldn't you pester us to death? Is it so hard to lower yourself and ask? Young people shouldn't be rattled so easily. Let me say something unpleasant. Should Lord Rainmaster help, it's on account of kindness. If not, it's on account of duty. Whether you'll be lent that device is based on the Lord's mood, so if you don't get what you want, don't bother complaining about it later. I like this ox guy. Shalian knew that what he said made sense, but the situation was so dire and the farmer's tone so unfriendly that a wave of anger rolled through him. He held his head higher and replied in an upright voice. I understand everything you are saying, and I would never complain behind anyone's back, so why must you make assumptions about how I'll react? I said I will not pester simply because I do not want to waste my time and cause trouble for Lord Rainmaster in the process. But if Lord Rainmaster would not feel inconvenienced, and all I need to do to borrow the spiritual device is be bothersome about it, then it would be nothing for me to offer up all 8,000 of my temples and kowtow 100 times. The farmer burst out laughing. You're angry? You have the temper of a child. Here. He tossed something over. Shalian raised his hand and caught a grass-colored bamboo hat, the very one that the farmer previously had on his back. What is this? Shalian asked. The thing you wanted to borrow, the farmer explained. Lord Rainmaster already asked me to pass this to you before you came. Use it carefully. If you break it, we won't forgive you. Shalian's eyes widened. Why? Didn't I already tell you? The farmer asked. The loan was based on the Lord's mood. Other heavenly officials won't help you, so Lord Rainmaster had to go against the flow. Whatever Lord Rainmaster wants to do shall be done. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shalian cried. Don't be too happy so soon, Your Highness, the farmer added. Lord Rainmaster may have ascended before you, but has fewer devotees, and thus less power, and there are those recent injuries to consider. The loan of that thing is all you'll get. The rest is up to you. Distant waters cannot quench nearby thirsts. The Rainmaster's hat can move rain, but not create water. There's not enough water in your Shanla, so you must borrow from other kingdoms, and they might not be willing. Only the kingdom of Yushu has had rain in abundance in recent years, and it is rather wealthy in that aspect. However, there is a great distance to be crossed between the two kingdoms, and every use of that hat will drain an enormous amount of your spiritual power. No matter how much you possess, there will come a day that it runs dry. No one tell Kictor I posted Junmei in the community, says Kate. What? Yes! Kate, you are the best. Look at that yowie wowie. That yowie wowie. Holy shit, that is amazing. Hualian in the back being like, what the fuck? That is incredible, Kate. Holy shit. I can't believe you. You are the best. Thank you so much for drawing that. Oh my god. You're the best. Hualian respectfully slow dancing to Yowie Wowie. Yes, Spazzy. Kate says, maybe when I have time, I'll do a hot version. You mean this isn't the hot version? That's it. That's Kictor's business card. It is. It is. Oh my god, you're the best. Okay. Back to Rainmaster-ing. Okay, yeah, so you gotta borrow the rain. It's gonna suck. Shalian was keenly aware of how difficult it was to lend one's spiritual device to some random person. He bowed deeply to the thatched cottage. I am profoundly grateful that the Lord Rainmaster would lend a helping hand. I will not forget this kindness. Should there be anything I can do to help in the future, pray the Lord Rainmaster does not hesitate to ask me. Farewell. With the borrowed spiritual device in hand, Shalian immediately found a lake in the south and ladled out a large portion of its water with the Rainmaster hat. Crossing thousands of kilometers, he returned to Yong'an in Shanla. He found the worst affected village, the Bay of Lang-Ar, and flipped the bamboo hat over above the clouds. Soon after, a short sprinkling of rain fell from the sky. Shalian jumped off the clouds and landed both feet on the ground. The half-dead villagers couldn't believe their eyes. Some rushed out of their homes to cheer under the rain, and others hurriedly brought out buckets of all sizes to collect the water. Shalian sighed in relief at the sight of this, and he finally managed to smile. Just then, he heard a voice call out from afar. "Your Highness!" He turned and saw Mu Ching appear from behind a tree, his face dark. Seeing his gloomy expression, Shalian knew something was wrong. What is it? Did something happen? Chapter 33. Closing the capital gates. Survival of Yong'an Bard. Ooh, this isn't good. Your Highness, what took you so long? Mu Ching asked. Shalian was taken aback. Was I really gone that long? Traveling all over the heavens and earth, scooping up lake water, mounting clouds and making rain, all without care for day or night, Shalian hadn't realized just how much time had passed. It's been days, Mu Ching exclaimed. There's a mountain of backed-up prayers from devotees at the temple of the Crown Prince. Just then, Shalian felt the rain fading and extended a hand. Did I not leave instructions for the two of you to handle the important ones first? Of course we handled what we could, Mu Ching replied. But there are too many prayers that we don't have the authority to manage. That's why I asked your Highness not to make them wait too long and hurry back. As he finished speaking, the rain stopped. The rainstorm was much shorter than Shalian had expected, and he felt his heart sinking. As the clouds dispersed, the green bamboo hat came fluttering down, and Shalian caught it with both hands. But do you see the situation? I can't pull myself away from here either. Mu Ching frowned. Your Highness, did you manage to borrow the Rainmaster's spiritual device? Where did the water come from? From the kingdom of Yushi in the south, Shalian replied. That far? Mu Ching exclaimed. How much power did it take to move water just once? And if you're determined to keep watering Yong'an with these spare storms, how will you keep up with your followers' prayers? Even if he hadn't said it out loud, Shalian understood. He was a martial god, and the devotees to the Temple of the Crown Prince were his foundation, the source of his spiritual power. His actions now were essentially abandoning that foundation, and if he wasn't careful, both sides would suffer. But what else could he do? I know, Shalian said, but if things go on like this and a riot breaks out in Yong'an, the Temple of the Crown Prince will be affected sooner or later. That's already happened, Mu Ching exclaimed. Shalian was shocked. What? At that, Shalian rushed back to the imperial capital of Shanla. When he arrived at the Grand Avenue of Divine Might, a band of imperial soldiers clad in armor and wielding sharp weapons were marching in a line detained to men down the road. The prisoners were unkempt, with their hands and head locked in kengways? A kengway is a flat board, usually made of wood, that was secured around the neck and sometimes the hands of people as a form of corporal punishment or public humiliation. Oh, I know what they're talking about. I don't think I've ever seen it called that before. Citizens crowded both sides of the road, fury evident in every one of their faces. Feng Xin tensely gripped his black bow as if preparing for a riot at any moment. Feng Xin, Shalian demanded sharply. Who are those detainees? What crime did they commit? Where are they taking them? Yes, Bazzy. Yes. I mentioned that when we're reading TGCF, there are content warnings for gore and upsetting stuff. Some stuff that's going to happen with a child. So just beware if that's something you don't want to hear. Hearing his voice, Feng Xin hurried over. Your Highness, they're all people of Yong'an. There were dozens of men in that line, all tall and gaunt, their skin tanned and dark from the sun. Behind the soldiers trailed several old men and a number of stricken women and children. There's one following behind. Are as well? Shalian questioned. All of them, Mu Ching confirmed. Over the past several months, at the height of the drought, Yong'an residents uprooted their lives and fled to the east in droves. When it was only a few dozen people, it wasn't obvious, but the flow kept coming, and by now there were more than 500 of them. When a massive, dense crowd like that gathered, it became quite the spectacle. What's gonna happen? Yeah, put it in the chat if this is your first time reading TGCF. Over the past several months, at the height of the drought, Yong'an residents uprooted their lives and fled to the east in droves. When it was only a few dozen people, it wasn't obvious, but the flow kept coming, and by now there were more than 500 of them. When a massive, dense crowd like that gathered, it became quite the spectacle. The people of Yong'an were strangers to this land with nothing to their names, and the moment they opened their mouths, their dialects gave them away, so when they arrived at this strange, bustling city, they naturally stuck together for comfort. After searching all over, they finally found an uninhibited green meadow within the imperial capital. Overjoyed, they built sheds and huts as temporary shelters. Unfortunately, although the field was uninhabited, it was very dear to those of the imperial capital. The culture of Shanla was quite indulgent, and residents of the imperial capital were leaders in that lifestyle. Citizens would gather at that field to stroll, dance, sing, poetry, paint, practice the arts of the sword, and so on. Yong'an, on the other hand, had always been poor, so the temperament and culture of the citizens of this western land were completely opposite to those of the east. Because of this, citizens of the imperial capital often believed that they had the purest Shanla blood, and now their elegant city had been overtaken by a large number of refugees, who filled the air with their strange smells and sounds, the constant disruption of laundry and campfires, and stench of stewing herbs and leftovers, and sweat, the unending weeping. It made many nearby residents recoil with disgust, and their complaints were endless. Some of the elder Yong'an leaders understood their predicament and wanted to move elsewhere, yet the imperial capital was already heavily populated. No matter where they went, it was crowded with people, and there wasn't anywhere else that could settle so many. Furthermore, they had wounded people, sick people, old folks, and children, which made it infeasible to move frequently. They had no choice but to shamelessly yet cautiously cling to that meadow. As much as it displeased the people of the imperial capital, the refugees were still citizens of the same country. In light of the ongoing disaster, they tolerated the stranger's presence. Shalian had heard up to that point in the situation report when the band of soldiers arrived at the mouth of the marketplace with the Yong'an men in tow. The soldiers bellowed, "Kneel." Every one of the men looked indignant, but with blades at their throats, they had no choice but to kneel. When the crowd of capital citizens saw the men drop to their knees, some sighed, but others clearly felt vindicated. According to your report, both sides have tolerated each other thus far, so what happened today? Shalian asked. Before Feng Xin or Mu Qing could answer, a woman started wailing and crying from the crowd. "You barbaric thieves! Never mind your sticky fingers. You beat my husband so badly that he can't get up. If he doesn't recover, I'll make you pay." Next to her, a number of people rushed to comfort her, and some pointed their fingers in reproach. "Don't you know how to behave when you're living in other people's territory? Yeah, you're guests in our home, but you've made yourselves real comfortable, haven't you? Thieves!" One of the bound young men finally couldn't take it anymore. "We already told you we didn't steal anything," he argued. "We didn't throw the first punch either. Besides, we've got wounded people on our side too." "Stop talking," a Yong'an elder admonished him. The young man shut his mouth angrily. "A dog went missing in the imperial capital," Feng Xin explained. "There was an incident earlier where a Yong'an child stole and ate someone's duck out of extreme hunger, so there were rumors that the dog was stolen and eaten by the Yong'an refugees too. A mob went in to interrogate them and started a brawl when the interrogation went south." Shalian was incredulous. "A riot over a dog? And they detained this many people?" "Yes, over a dog," Feng Xin said. "It blew up this badly because both sides have been putting up with each other for too long. Even petty things can become a big deal. Both sides swear that the other side started it, that it's the other side's fault, and this nonsensical scuffle just got bigger and bigger." "Violent rioters shall see severe punishment," a high-ranking soldier announced. "You are all sentenced to the Kangwei for, how do you fucking pronounce that, for public condemnation. Any further crimes are forbidden." After the censusing, he stood down, and the next second, some of the crowd started hurtling lettuce leaves and rotten eggs at the men of Yong'an. The old men who trailed behind started bowing to the crowd, crying for mercy. "We apologize, everyone. We apologize. Please have mercy. Have mercy." Shalian thought this whole thing was absolutely absurd, making a mountain out of a molehill, but he could also understand the feelings on both sides. So did they really steal anything? Did they find that dog? Feng Xin shook his head. "Who knows? If the bones were stripped and thrown away, who could prove anything? But judging by their faces, I don't think they did it." But of course, the soldiers of the imperial capital would favor the capital's citizens when handing down their judgment. Whether anything had been stolen or not, there had been a riot, and so the fault must lie with those from Yong'an.
Furthermore, while the men of the imperial capital loved to strut around, they weren't as tough as the men of Young An. They must have been utterly humiliated in that brawl, and that complete loss of face only created a greater feud between the two groups. Shalian shook his head. As his gaze swept over the crowd, he suddenly noticed a familiar-looking young man at the middle of that row of Young An prisoners, with his head hung low. It was that man from the woods, Lang Ying. Shalian was stunned. Just then, someone nearby complained. It seems like more and more of those Young An people have been showing up in the past few months, and now they've started to pick fights? They're not all coming here, are they? A man who appeared to be a merchant gestured wildly. His Majesty the King won't allow it. My house was robbed by Young An thieves just the other day. If they all came here, there'd be hell. Lang Ying had kept his head low all this time, letting the groceries hit him freely, but at those words he suddenly looked up. Did you see it? The merchant hadn't expected a response and replied without thinking. Young An thieves robbing your house. Did you see them with your own eyes? I didn't see them myself, but it's always been peaceful here before. I was only robbed after you all showed up, so how can you say it has nothing to do with you? The merchant argued. Lang Ying nodded. I get it. Before we came here, you people were the ones stealing, but once we arrived, we became the thieves. A rotten persimmon came flying at him before he could finish and smashed into the side of his mouth, looking like he'd vomited a splatter of blood. The merchant burst out laughing, and Lang Ying's eyes dimmed. He closed his mouth and stopped talking. Shalian dissolved the sharp rocks that were thrown at the young men, ensuring they wouldn't be severely injured. This public humiliation continued until evening, and only until after the onlooking citizens finally dispersed did the soldiers decide it was enough. Only then did they unlock the kangues and warn the men not to cause any more trouble. Otherwise, they'd be severely punished, and so on and so on. The elders bowed deeply over and over with apologetic smiles, promising to never violate the rules ever again. But Lang Ying, looking apathetic, walked away all alone. Shalian watched that lone figure depart, then caught the right moment to appear in a flash from behind a tree and block his path. The moment he appeared, the young man's eyes sharpened, and in that instant it looked like he was going to choke Shalian dead. He took a second to process who was standing before him and withdrew the hand that was ready to attack. It's you. Shalian had transformed back into the form of that young cultivator. Lang Ying had almost managed to seize him, which startled Shalian even as he thought, this man is a little impressive. I gave you that pearl, he said, so why didn't you take it back to Young An? Lang Ying regarded him. My son is here. I'm here too. After a brief pause, he took the coral pearl from his belt. Do you want it back? Here. The hand he held out still had marks from the kangue. After a moment of silence, Shalian didn't take it. Go back. It rained at the Bay of Lang-Ar today. He pointed to the sky. Tomorrow, there will be rain again. I promise. It's certain to be so. But Lang Ying shook his head. It doesn't matter if it rains or not. There's no going back. Watching his back as he walked away, Shalian was left dumbfounded. He only felt endless frustration. Before he ascended, it was like he hadn't a cloud of worry in his skies. He could do whatever he wanted. Who could have known that after ascension, he would suddenly be surrounded by incessant worries, both the worries of others and his own? Had it always been this hard to get something done? He had never felt so lacking, so powerless. Shalian sighed and turned to leave as well. There was a mountain of prayers waiting to be addressed by him at the temple of the Crown Prince. Yet he wasn't the most troubled of all. That title went to the king, for the worries of the king of Shanle had become reality. Those 500-some Young An refugees were only the beginning. With the borrowed Rainmaster hat in hand, Shalian ran unceasingly back and forth between the north and the south, creating rain by its own power. Yet every little rainstorm used up an immense amount of spiritual power, and 5 to 6 days' worth of his time. There may have not been another god beside him who could keep up such a draining duty, besides Junwu, of course. However, the Heavenly Emperor ruled over a far vaster land than he, and the number of devotees and domains he attended to was significantly greater than Shanle. How could Shanle possibly distract Junwu by asking for his help? And still, each rainstorm could only wet a small area of Young An, and lasted but a short while. Even if they caused some relief, they couldn't fix the root of the problem. Young An is within Shanle, so they're They're both in the same country. The kingdom of Shanla, like Yong'an is in there. Yeah, like on like different provinces, I guess. Like Ontario and and British Columbia are both in Canada. So that's like there was even a line a little bit earlier there of like how it wasn't crazy that like all these new people were coming in because they still were citizens of the same country, but it's kind of like, you know. Lunar Sky says, "Is this like it hurts, it hurts, it hurts?" Um, there's there's a very graphic depiction of a very upsetting death coming up. It's like it's gross. Okay, so everyone's coming here. After a month of this, the people of Yong'an began their exodus to the east in droves. Before it was a group of dozens at a time, now it was hundreds, thousands, massive hordes that flocked together, streaming like a river. After another month, the king of Shanla issued a new decree. Due to the endless disputes and incessant scuffles of recent months, for the sake of peace within the imperial capital, all Yong'an refugees are to leave the city immediately. Oh, like that's gonna work. Every refugee shall be given a set travel fund to assist in their settlement elsewhere. And with that, the grand gates to the imperial capital of Shanla closed before the massive, teeming horde of Yong'an refugees. "Open the gates! Let us in!" The soldiers retreated into the city and pushed the 1,000-ton gates shut. The people who had been driven out by the soldiers went rushing back toward the entrance like a tide of black water to pound on the massive doors. Atop the towers, the soldiers roared, "Get away! Leave! Collect your travel fund and head east! Don't mill around!" But the Yong'an refugees had turned their backs on their homes, fled their land, and arrived at the closest city, the imperial capital. With the gates to the city now closed to them, if they wanted to survive, they would have to walk an even longer distance around its perimeter to the cities further east. The journey to the imperial capital had already been massively perilous, with countless injured or dead. How could they possibly have any more energy to continue on? Even with the travel funds, rations, and water, how many more days could they endure on the road? Their faces were ashen. Some dragged their household's goods behind them. Some carried babies on their backs. Some carried stretchers. Some held each other up. Some could stand no more and lay or sat on the ground. Acres and acres of them stayed there, outside the city walls. Some younger men still had the energy to be enraged, and they pounded the doors with their fists as they yelled. "You can't do this! You've written off our lives! We're all citizens of Shanla. You can't just kill us off like this." One of the men yelled until his voice was hoarse. "You can kick us out, that's fine. I won't stay, but at least take my wife and children, please." They were like ants trying to shake a tree. The city gates remained unmoved. Shalian stood on top of the tower, white robes flapping in the wind, and he crossed the parapet to look down below. Outside the imperial capital were endless heads, black and squirming, dense and tightly knit, very much like the swarms of ants he used to see in the imperial gardens when he played there in his younger years. Back then, he'd peered at them curiously and surreptitiously extended a finger to poke at them, but immediately an attendant had cried out, "Your Highness, those things are dirty. You can't touch. Don't touch." Then he rushed over, skirt lifted, and squashed all the ants under her foot. Then she rushed over, skirt lifted, and squashed all the ants under her foot. When those ants were alive, there was hardly anything worth looking at in their dense, roiling swarm. Once they were squashed into mush, there was even less to look at. Within the capital walls, lights twinkled magnificently in myriads of homes, and the sounds of music wafted in the air. This one city wall separated two completely different worlds. It wasn't just that new Yong'an refugees were being refused, but even the ones that were already settled in the city had been expelled. It was harsh, but with the mounting friction between the Yong'an refugees and the capital residents in the recent months, Shalian could somewhat understand. If they allowed any Yong'an citizens to remain inside the city walls, they could collude with those outside the walls and cause havoc. However, there was one area he felt should be up for negotiation. He said absently, "Why must the women and the vulnerable be expelled too? There are some who can't walk much further." Function and Mooching stood right behind him. "If they must be expelled, they must all be expelled," Mooching replied. "Everyone must be treated equally. There mustn't be any favoritism, lest people be provoked into asking, 'Why can they stay when I can't?'" "You think too much," Function commented. "There are absolutely people who would think like that," Mooching said flatly. "Besides, if the wives and children remain, then the men won't want to go far. They'll return sooner or later. To keep people in the city is to keep future problems." The Yong'an refugees refused to leave, so the soldiers on the towers couldn't leave either. Suit yourself. The king himself gave the command, the king himself gave the command, so did they think just sitting there loitering would do anything? They might be able to hang around for a day or two, but not a month or two. A year or two, or the soldiers and residents of the imperial capital believed. Some Yong'an refugees hopelessly accepted their fate and decided to gamble on traveling further eastward, but their numbers were few. Most still sat stubbornly by the city gates, hoping the imperial capital would open its door to them, or at the very least give them somewhere to rest before they journeyed onward. Newly arrived refugees were disappointed to see the city gates firmly shut, but when they saw so many waiting there, they joined the masses. Several days later, the crowd gathered outside the city gates was still only growing. Tens of thousands of people had evidently decided to settle there, and they built impressive rows of temporary shelters. They had the rations and water given by the king to sustain themselves, but the people were almost at their limit. That limit was breached on the 5th day. Over that time, Shalian had divided each day into 3. 1/3 dedicated to the devotees at the Temple of the Crown Prince, 1/3 for moving water and creating rain, and 1/3 for caring for the Yong'an citizens outside the city walls. But even with Function and Mooching helping, Shalian still felt the burden of their responsibilities. The spirit was willing, but the flesh was weak. By coincidence, it happened during a time when Shalian wasn't standing guard outside the city walls. Under the scorching sun, a shriek was suddenly heard outside the gates. The cry came from a couple cradling their child in their arms. Many went over to see. "What's wrong with the child?" "Hungry? Thirsty?" And soon a shout. "Everyone come share some water here! This kid's not looking good!" The woman sobbed as she gave water to her red-faced child, but the child just vomited it back up. "I don't know what's wrong," the father said. "He's sick. A doctor! We need a doctor!" Carrying his son, he ran to the gates and started slapping on the doors. "Open up! Help! Someone's dying! My son is dying!" It was only natural that the soldiers inside didn't dare to open the gates. Whether or not someone was actually dying, there were tens of thousands outside. If they opened those gates up, there'd be no closing them. Instead, they reported to the officers higher up. The weather had been hot over the past few days, and the heat was making the soldiers standing watch cranky. "Give 'em some food and water," the officer said dismissively. They hung food and water on a rope and lowered it down. Thank you, my lords and brothers, but we don't want food and water. Can you help us find a doctor?" the man pleaded. This made things difficult. They couldn't let him in to find a doctor, and they couldn't lower a doctor from the city walls. Heaven knows what those starving refugees might do once a doctor got outside. "Forget it," the high-ranking official said. "Ignore them. They're not dying. If they ask again, tell them their message had been sent to the king for a response." Over recent weeks, the king had been deeply troubled by the Yong'an issue and was easily angered, so of course no one would actually dare to bother him with such a trivial matter. The soldiers responded as directed, and that Yong'an man, feeling greatly relieved, thanked them profusely. He thanked his majesty, and he knelt to kowtow multiple times. Yet hours upon hours passed. Shadows from the scorching sun moved from one end of the earth to the other, and the requested doctor still hadn't appeared as the child in their arms got hotter and hotter. The couple cradled their child in their arms that trembled non-stop. The man was covered in cold sweat, mumbling, "Is anyone coming? Is anyone opening the gates for me?" At last, they couldn't wait any longer, and he yelled to the towers, "Officers, my apologies, but I need to ask, where's the doctor?" A soldier responded, "We're waiting for a formal response from the king. Just wait a while longer." Some citizens below couldn't sit still anymore. They said that 4 hours ago. Why isn't there a response yet? The soldiers heeded their superior's command and ignored them after that. The crowd surrounding the walls was furious, forlorn, and distressed. They surrounded the child and began to speculate. Did they actually pass on the message to His Majesty? They're not lying to us, are they? The father of that child couldn't wait any longer. He steeled himself, tied the child to his back, and turned to his wife to say a few last words. The woman removed a protection charm from around her neck and put it around her husband's. Then the man ran towards the city wall to try and scale it. The city wall was smooth, built to make climbing difficult. He grabbed at it a few times but didn't make any progress. The rest of the men called out, "Let us help," and pushed him up. A crowd of over a dozen men stacked themselves into a human pyramid and helped bring him higher. From the top, the man managed to grab onto the rope that had been used to lower water and food, and used it to continue his climb. At the bottom, tens of thousands watched anxiously, not daring to cheer for him, scared they might be discovered. The soldiers on the top of the towers had been there for many days, and the Yong'an refugees hadn't started anything, so they were fairly lax in their watch. It wasn't until the man had reached the halfway point that they noticed that someone was scaling the wall. "What are you doing?" they barked. "No climbing! Climbers will be killed without mercy! Do you hear me? Climbers will be killed without mercy!" Faced with such a threat, the man shouted back, "I don't have any ill intentions. I just want to bring my child to the doctor. I won't do anything else." He kept climbing as he called out. One of the superior officers was just having his meal, and upon hearing of this, he became vexed to the extreme. If that man were to scale the wall safely, wouldn't countless more Yong'an refugees follow his example and attempt the same? He had to be stopped. Thus he strode out and shouted down the parapet, "Do you not value your life? Go back down this instant. If you don't, you'll be sorry." But the man had already climbed high, past halfway, and with just one more push, he'd reach the top. Naturally, he wouldn't stop now. Never in his life had that superior officer been disobeyed like this. His word was law. Those who disobeyed him were easy enough to take care of, however. He approached the parapet, pulled his sword, and struck. The rope snapped in two. The man plunged downward, snapped rope in hand. Awash in the screams of thousands, he crashed heavily on the ground before the city gates. That was the moment Shalian arrived. The man had fallen on his back, and on his back was his child. Whomp. And the child was crushed into ground meat, splattering blood for dozens of meters. The man's neck was broken, his eyes bulging out of his skull. Around his twisted neck there dangled a charm with the words Shanla embroidered in golden thread, a protection charm from the temple of the Crown Prince. Right before he had started to climb, the man and his wife both clutched that protection charm in their hands and silently prayed for the blessing of His Highness the Crown Prince, Shalian. He had heard their voices and rushed over. But he was not a hero from the legends written in books. He couldn't appear right before the executioner dropped the axe every single time to save lives menaced by the blade. The woman didn't even have the courage to flip her husband's dead body to check on the condition of her son. She covered her face and screamed, and without looking, she made a crazed dash forward to bash her head into the wall. Crack! And she dropped on the spot, her body limp.
Oh, fuck! It's so fucking rough, dude. Oh my god. It's so bad. You know, like, this whole book, you're kind of waiting for, like, the bad things to happen to Shalian. You're like, what? He's gonna save the common people. He's helping out Hua Chung. He has all these good ideas, and it's working. And then you're like, it's not working. Oh, fuck. What could possibly happen? Oh, and the fact that they had the charm and they, like, wished to Shalian as well. Oh, that's awful. I know, it's awful. But also, remember, this is Tgcf and this is a long book. And maybe things might not be as they seem. Keep that in the back of your head. Right before Shalian's eyes, in the flash of a second, 3 dead bodies were sprawled before the city gates of the royal capital. He hadn't even had the time to react before the crowd outside the city gates was whipped into a frenzy, unable to hold back any longer. "Dead! A family of 3, all dead!" someone yelled.
Look, that's the good old officer working for His Majesty. He won't save us, but he sure will kill us! You won't let us in, but you won't let anyone out either. So what were we supposed to do? 3 bloody lives are on your hands. You said to expel all Yong'an refugees from the imperial capital, but how come I don't see any of the rich ones out here? So it's only the poor and powerless that deserve to die. I can see through you. I can't stand it anymore. I just can't. Year after year we paid our taxes, but now there's a disaster, and where did all that money go? Did all the money go to the parasites in building more temples for your son, instead of aid for our disaster victims? Just a meager bit of food to shut us up. What do you take us for? Useless king. Incompetent king. The soldiers on the towers yelled down at the crowd for them to stop, but the superior officer had seen much in his lifetime and didn't take any of this seriously. Yet the situation was spiraling out of control. Thousands and tens of thousands pushed furiously against the gates, some even using their own heads and bodies as a battering ram. And this time it wasn't mere ants on trees. The gates moved. In fact, the entire city wall and its towers shook faintly. Shalian had never witnessed anything like this in his life. All the people he'd ever met had been kind, peaceful, happy, satisfied, and endearing. Those twisted faces, crying and screaming, forced him to enter a completely foreign world, and he couldn't help but feel chilled to his very bones. Even against the most horrifying ghosts and demons, he had never felt this way. Just then, there was an angry roar from above. He whipped his head around and saw a tall, gaunt figure choking the officer who had cut the rope and caused the 3 deaths outside the city walls. With a loud, clear crack, the officer's neck was snapped. The other soldiers had no idea how that man had suddenly appeared. Pale with shock, they rushed forward to surround him, brandishing their swords. "Who are you? How did you get up here?" Shalian immediately noticed the man's hands. The flesh was ripped to bits and smeared with blood. This man had scaled the smooth wall with only his bare hands. When the figure turned around, he saw that it was Lang Ying. Lang Ying was calm and collected, even when surrounded by soldiers. He crossed the parapet and threw the corpse of the officer down. Then he jumped off, using the corpse as a stepping stone to break his fall. The moment he jumped, he looked straight at Shalian. But the man wasn't truly looking at Shalian. Instead, he looked right through him to gaze at the imperial palace that towered at the center of the capital. From that day onward, all of the kingdom of Shanla was thrown into chaos. Damn! This is crazy. Oh, man. This is tough. This all happened in, what, 3 weeks? I know, he, like, just ascended. Well, it's great. He's like, hey, I'm happy in being in the rich people capital. Oh, shit, what? Like, Guoshi said it best, you know? He was like, you're too young to understand any of this. You don't... Literally, Guoshi was like, oh, I see. Your first time having all your people... what was it? Like, your kingdom fall, you know? Like, to Guoshi, he's like, yeah, this shit just happens. I know, it's crazy. It's like everything was going so good. Just another Tuesday for Guoshi, yeah. Kate! First bridge. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh my god. Just another Tuesday. Yeah, Rose City Kimono, I know what you mean. That, like, sometimes with, like, you have to spoil parts for people because it just might be triggering or something. We gotta keep reading! Chapter 34, Shanla and Chaos, Crown Prince returns to the mortal realm. For displaced disaster victims like those from Yong'an, to pick a fight against the Imperial Army was a losing battle, a gross overestimation of their own strength. Yet cornered people often possess the courage to court ruin and fight a losing battle. After that riot, the tens of thousands of Yong'an refugees finally left the city gates and rebuilt their temporary camp some distance away. Still, they stubbornly refused to leave. They could die on the road if they kept going, but if staying was also death, what was the difference? Using the rations and water the king had distributed, supplementing them with bark, wild herbs, plant roots, critters, and insects, and topping it all off with resentment and loathing, those people possessed an unimaginably persistent will to live and relentlessly persevered. After a few days, they managed to assemble a few thousand men and returned for a fight, wielding hoes, rakes, rocks, and branches. Although their clash was a mess, an utter defeat, with over half of those few thousand dead, it wasn't fruitless. Lang Ying made it into the tower and returned hauling several large bags of grain and bundles of real weapons. There may have been serious casualties, but that just created a will to fight to the death among the people. Their nature was closer to that of bandits now. They raided once, twice, thrice. The soldiers of Shanle soon discovered that their tactics of those bandits were rapidly improving. Their initially inexperienced rioters gradually got the hang of things, and every time they attacked, they were more difficult to deal with than the last. The number who returned to camp alive increased with every attempt. There were also endless waves of new refugees joining the cause after hearing the news, and the group grew significantly in size. How to best deal with those bandits became the hottest top for debate within the kingdom of Shanle, and after 5 or 6 such ridiculous guerrilla attacks, Shalian could no longer sit still on the parapet and simply watch from the sidelines. He hadn't reported to the heavens in a long time, but this time, when he arrived at the heavenly capital, he dashed straight to the Palace of Divine Might without a word, and ran into Junwu, who was making out with Guoshi on the dance floor. CSCL, very good, very nice. Yeah. Are we sure Lang Ying doesn't have a protagonist halo? Also, I just want to acknowledge, I understand that this is really heavy and, like, upsetting, but I'm gonna keep reading because a lot of the book is actually very heavy and very, very upsetting. But, you know, that's what makes the good part so good, is because we've gone through this huge journey with Shalian, you know? But it's like, it's long. This part is upsetting and long for a long time. The book, originally Tgcf was in 5 books. Like, there's 5 arcs, right? There's the first arc. The second arc is what we're currently in. The second arc is fucked up, okay? Then there's the third arc, which is sad, but it doesn't involve Hualien as much. It's still pretty fucked up. Fourth arc is the most fucked up. Can you imagine that? It gets worse than this. You know? And then there's the 5th arc. So, it's just heavy. We just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Thank you, Spazzy. I'm glad. You know, if you just remember, none of this is real, and Junwu and Guoshi are making out in the club, and that's real. That's actually canon. So. Okay, but he's going up to Junwu. When he barged in, Junwu was seated on his throne. A group of heavenly officials seemed to be discussing an important matter and were bowing to receive his command. In the past, Shalian would have chosen a different day to pay his visit, but at the moment he had no time to spare. He cut right in. "My lord, I'm returning to the mortal realm." The heavenly officials were startled. They immediately covered their mouths, keeping silent, not wanting to show any kind of reaction. Junwu looked at him knowingly for a moment, then rose from his throne to speak to him gently. "Shanle, I have an idea of what's happening, but you must remain calm." This is so fucking rich coming from Junwu, though. Oh my god. It's so rich. "My lord, I didn't come here to request permission. I came here to inform you," Shalian said. "My people are currently mired in the depths of hell, so please forgive me if I cannot remain calm." "The world has its own destiny," Junwu said. "Do you not realize that if you descend and appear before mortals, it will be a violation of heavenly law?" "If it's a violation, then so be it," Shalian cried. At this, the faces of the heavenly officials changed color. Never had a heavenly official dared to speak such words with so much gusto and so unapologetically. No matter how highly Junwu regarded this young, early ascended prince of Shanle, it was still an act of great audacity. A moment later, Shalian bowed. Pray, my lord, let me go this just once. Just give me a little time. Since fighting has started, casualties are unavoidable, but if I can stop this and reduce the number of the dead, minimize the conflict, then after the war ends, I will return willingly to repent, and my lord can sentence me as he sees fit. Whether I should be sealed under a mountain for 100 years, 1,000 years, 100,000 years, I will not regret it. Ooh. After having his say, he remained in that bowing posture and stood down, leaving the great hall. Shanla! Junwoo called. Shalian paused in his step. Junwoo gazed at him, then sighed. You cannot save everyone. Shalian slowly straightened up. I won't know until I've tried. Even if the heavens say I must die, if that sword doesn't pierce my heart and nail me dead to the ground, then I am still alive, and I will struggle till my last breath. Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck! Returning to the mortal realm in solid form was unlike all the previous times he'd descended. Shalian felt like something had been abandoned. He felt light and at the same time heavy. His first action was to return to the palace at once. The king and the queen were in the imperial study, whispering to each other, their faces grave and exhausted. Shalian approached the door nervously at first, but then he calmed himself, raised the curtain, and walked in. Father. The king and the queen both looked back at the same time in shock. It was the queen who stood up first, crying joyously, My son! She extended both her hands and came forward to welcome him. Shalian caught her arms, accepting the gesture, but before the smiles went away, he saw the king's expression growing darker. Why have you descended? The king demanded. Shalian's smile froze. Before, when he heard his parents talk about him behind his back, Shalian had thought that his father might miss him and wasn't as biased against him as it always seemed. He had thought that the king would show at least some degree of pleasure in seeing his return, and that he would surely soften his attitude. How could he expect that the king would react this way, so full of scorn? Shalian's own temper flared. Why have I descended? Isn't it all because of you? He replied sharply. Shouldn't you ask yourself whether you bear responsibility for their situation with young Anne coming to this? The king's face completely changed, and he countered harshly. My responsibility? Is that something you can say to me? His fury made him forget his royal plurals, and the queen teared up. The situation is already as bad as can be, so why are you two arguing? We're not arguing, Shalian said. We're talking about basic logic. Even if you are the king and my father, if you are the one responsible, why can't I say anything? Why didn't you work harder on disaster relief? If the aid money was completely swallowed by government checkpoints, why didn't you punish the corrupt officials? If you were fierce like thunder and fast like lightning, jailing them all with no exceptions, then would there still be so many parasites who dare to steal? Wouldn't things be better than they are now? Veins popped on the king's forehead, and he banged on his bureau desk. Quiet! Do you think the royal treasury is a bottomless well that can fix any leaking hole? Jail them all, as if it was that easy. If by just one order from the king it worked fast like lightning, fierce as thunder, then why has history never seen a dynasty untouched by corruption? What logic do you know? You ignorant child, you dare speak politics with me? Fine, Shalian equicized. I don't understand, but even if the imperial capital had no room for the victims to settle and their expulsion was inevitable, why not provide more for them? Why not appease them properly and have an army escort them on their journey eastward? The king's eyes bulged with rage as he pointed to the sky. Be gone! Get out of here! Get back to the heavens! Just looking at you annoys me! Don't ever appear here again! Shalian had descended with a heart full of fervor, yet the reunion with his parents ended with his father yelling and sending him back to the heavens. Without a word, Shalian gave a curt bow and stood down to leave the imperial study. The queen chased after him as he left and pulled him to a stop. My son! Mother, don't worry, Shalian said gently. I'm just going to walk around the imperial capital to check on the situation. The queen shook her head. My son, I don't understand these political matters, but I understand your father. Throughout the years, I've seen how he is as a king. You can think from the bottom of your heart he isn't competent, and sometimes I think the same, even if I don't say it out loud. But you can't say that to his face. He is your father, after all. It's devastating to hear you say that he's been neglectful. Shalian opened and closed his mouth. The queen added, You might have been the crown prince, but you have never been king. Ruling a nation is different from cultivating. When you first entered the royal holy temple, the state preceptor said cultivation only concerns the heart. Isn't that right? Shalian nodded slowly, and the queen clutched his hands. But there are many times in this world when just having heart isn't enough. You must be capable too, and not just you, but your subordinates as well. They must match you in ability, and also share your heart. Shalian remained silent. After a moment he asked, "Is the royal treasury suffering? I don't need temples. Tell him to stop building so many for me. These golden statues can go." "My child," the queen replied helplessly, "of course your father's bias is showing a little in building temples. He wanted to give you the best and to make you look impressive in the heavens. But do you know how many of those 8,000 temples were actually built by your father? You don't know, do you?" Shalian really didn't know, and he pondered briefly. Half? If your father really used funds from the royal treasury to build 4,000 temples, we wouldn't need to wait for the Yong'an refugees to start anything. The imperial capital would revolt first, the queen said. So if the royal treasury is empty, where do you think all that money came from? Your father built maybe 20 temples, and the others followed suit, masses of them wanting to build to curry his favor, to curry your favor. Is that counted among your father's failures too? Shalian was stumped. The queen said softly, "Your father isn't the greatest king, but he's done his best. Only in this world, simply doing your best isn't good enough." After a pause, she added, "Right now, you feel sympathy for those Yong'an refugees, so you blame your father, but they're all his people. Do you think we're the ones bullying them? In truth..." Halfway through her words, the enraged voice of the king echoed from the study. "What are you doing, telling him so many useless things? Make him leave and go back to the heavens." The queen turned back to him and sighed. "My son, don't descend for this. Go back." After leaving the palace, Shalian wandered down an alleyway near the Grand Avenue of Divine Might. As he walked, Fengxian and Muqing appeared in a rush. The moment Muqing approached, he asked in disbelief, "Your Highness, you requested to descend to the mortal realm? You spoke to the Heavenly Emperor?" "Yes," Shalian answered. "Why didn't you tell me first?" Muqing demanded. "What do you mean?" Fengxian asked, puzzled. "When he wants to do something, does His Highness have to report to anyone?" Muqing seemed to be losing it. "Why shouldn't he? We're his subordinates. And right now we're all tied together. His every action affects us. So is there something wrong with me wanting to know his plans?" "We have to follow His Highness no matter what he does. Heaven or earth, he goes his own way. So what are you afraid of?" Fengxian said. "You..." Muqing cut himself off in frustration. "I'm not afraid. I'm only..." Shalian waved. "Enough. Stop arguing." Fengxian and Muqing quieted immediately. Just then, a crowd of demonstrators paraded down the main street in a long line, thousands of citizens hollering. "There will be no peace in the kingdom until Yong'an is exterminated. They've gone too far. They've created too much disorder. They're a cancer." The people of Shanla had never been so aggressive about anything, nor had they ever engaged in such a roaring protest. Shalian couldn't help but think something was amiss. Fengxian, on the other hand, frowned. "How come there's a woman in there?" Sure enough, at the forefront of the crowd marched a young woman. She was slender, her skin snow-white, her eyes bright and black, her cheeks flushed, not from shyness, but from rage, an eye-catching sight. By then, Muqing had calmed himself down. "His Highness doesn't recognize her?" he asked coldly. "No," Shalian replied. Fengxian knitted his brows. "She looks a bit familiar." "She's one of the catalysts," Muqing said. "What catalysts?" Shalian asked. "The catalysts for the standoff," Muqing replied. "Before, when there were more and more Yong'an refugees surging into the capital, some wouldn't quietly mind their own business and went around causing trouble. The court was discussing the matter of expulsion, and the word of it was spreading. There was a Yong'an refugee who wanted to avoid being expelled, so he decided to take a risk. One night, he snuck into the house of a wealthy family and kidnapped their daughter." Shalian couldn't wrap his head around this. Why would he kidnap a rich family's daughter if he didn't want to leave? Muqing gave him a look. To marry her, the only way a daughter from a good family in the imperial capital would marry a man of Yong'an would be by force. He didn't say it plainly, but Shalian understood. He had never thought that there were actually people out there who would do such a thing, that something like that could happen. A sudden wave of nausea rolled up from his chest. "Disgusting!" Fengxian cursed angrily on the spot. Just then, a group of aunties rushed over, grabbing and pulling at the young woman. By the looks of it, she had snuck out when her family wasn't paying attention. The young woman wouldn't yield, yelling, "I'm not afraid! I have nothing to be ashamed of! I wasn't in the wrong!" "That chick's pretty spunky," Fengxian said, amazed. "Yes," Muqing replied. "She didn't come from an ordinary background. Her father is a high-ranking official, and her mother hails from a family of wealthy merchants in the capital. They refused to suffer this quietly, and definitely wouldn't marry off their daughter for shame's sake, so they beat that young man to death. Soon after, all the wealthy merchants and gentlemen of renown in the capital signed a petition that listed every crime the Yong'an refugees had committed since entering the city, and demanded the king jail all of them and have them severely punished. There's no need to explain where the government officials stand on this." He paused briefly, then said with a casual air, "I hear that the girl's father once wanted her to enter the harem and fight for the position of the prince's consort. Your Highness must have seen her face a few times long ago. I'm surprised you don't recognize her." Shalian's like, "Me? She was supposed to be in my harem?" Shalian finally realized that everything was much more complicated than he had imagined. There were two sides to this tumultuous standoff, deeply entrenched within and without. The people were furious, and each side desperately wanted to kill the other. If the king's decree was partial to Yong'an, wasn't that a slap in the face to his own people? When at last he decided to distribute some aid to the royal treasury to the Yong'an refugees, it probably displeased many of the city's residents. Even more frightening than a displeased enemy was the dissatisfaction of a kingdom's own people. While technically everyone was of Shanla, there were probably very few who believed that now. For so long, Shalian had been standing on high, unaware of all the problems of the mortal realm. However, his father was still in it. As a king, he needed money, he needed people, and in his position, the stress, the pressure, and the compromises he needed to make to solve the problems of his citizens were incomparable to the troubles Shalian knew. When the Yong'an refugees arrived, they took over land, made a racket, stole things, and so on. To a martial god sitting in a temple, these were all small matters that did not call for such fury. Simply endure it, and it will pass. However, to the residents of the capital, these were all very real, unmanageable, intolerable tortures, a crisis waiting to erupt. It was only because he wasn't in the thick of it that he could consider these matters simple or trivial. Shalian couldn't help but recall that the king's hair had gone even whiter than the last time he had seen him. Last time the king had said he was going to dye it, but he probably didn't have the energy to care anymore. When Shalian was younger, he firmly believed that his father was the world's greatest king, but the older he got, the more he realized this wasn't the case. Although his father was a king, he couldn't be called a wise or competent one. He was even a little corrupt and made mistakes often. Without his prestigious status, he was nothing more than a common mortal man. The more Shalian realized this, the more disappointed he became. The king noticed his disappointment and could not accept every disagreeing look, even every disagreeing word from Shalian. What he couldn't accept above all, however, was having Shalian see his failures. No father in the world wanted his son to see his failures. Every father wanted his son to see him as the greatest, yet Shalian had appeared before him at a terrible time just to berate him. "You're making such a mess of things that I had to descend to help you out." As both a king and a father, how could he withstand hearing that? The young woman was finally hustled away by her servants, and the hundreds of other demonstrating residents continued their protest, waving signs and hollering. They were crying for only one thing. "Kill them! Open fire! Show those Yong'an refugees crawling around outside the walls!" A moment later, Muqing spoke up. "Your Highness, at this point, it'd be best to go back and apologize to the Heavenly Emperor. Favorable time and place and conditions, it's all lost. There's no helping this." It was just as Junwu had told him at the Palace of Divine Might. The world has its own destiny. But that was no different from telling him that the kingdom of Shanla's time had come to an end and to let it go. Even the queen, his mother, who'd wished day and night to be granted only a glimpse of him, asked him to leave with tears in her eyes when she finally saw him. How could Shalian not understand that they simply didn't want him to go through this difficult trial, that they'd rather he just take care of himself and watch from afar? But how could he? After a long silence, Shalian gravely declared, "No," and he strode out. Oh, damn. That's the end of that chapter. Whew. Okay, we got to him descending at least. That's crazy. Broccoli Fox says, replace harem with girl squad, and maybe, just maybe, he'd have remembered. Oh yeah, my girl squad. Oh my gosh. Rebel Shalian, yeah, we're in a crazy arc now. Ryan says, you expect him to pay attention to anything other than a sword? Right? He did remember Xi Qingxuan is all I'm saying. Lunar Sky says, I'm gonna need tons of fluffy, happy fics now. Oh yeah, let me think. Let me think of some of like my favorite TGCF animatics. Some eye bleach, if you will. Okay. This is my favorite video of all time. I can't play it with music because I will get a copyright strike. But I will post you this here. This is a great animatic, a great beef leaf animatic. It says, Xi Qingxuan tries to make Mingyi wear a dress. And also, we have how Hua Chung became He Xuan's fish dad, probably. That's one of my other favorite animatics. The Guoshi fic is called Guoshi is this close to figuring it out on AO3. By... Yeah, where's the link to it? How can the AI overview show me that it exists, but the link doesn't show up? Dox myself on AO3. Oh, I found it. Okay. This fic is great. I'll post that in there. There's another one by Vampire Fawn that is so funny. I might even be able to read that one. Maybe read it quickly. It's called like The Young Works from Crimson Rain or something like that. The selected early works of Hua Chung, writer. Okay, I will read this for a little bit of eye bleach. Oh no, it's pretty not safe for work. I don't know if I can show it on the screen. Okay, I'll read this really quickly for you guys, okay? You ready? Okay. It's called The Selected Early Works of Hua Chung, writer, by Vampire Fawn. The summary is, when Shalian sneaks off to the Cave of 10,000 Gods, he doesn't expect to find a hidden room with a pile of scrolls. He expects even less to open them and find his own name. Sanlong wrote stories about us? Okay. Starts like this. Answers, note, my name is Hua Chung and this is my personal scroll to write my stories. If you find this, it means you're in my cave and I'm going to kill you. Chapter 1. Me and Jianxia have sex for the first time ever. Jianxia was standing angrily, stepping my flower into the ground and crushing it to pieces. I was starting to tear up behind my mask, but I didn't say anything until Jianxia turned around and said angrily, Wu Ming, did you put this there? He said. I said yes, and Jianxia said, I'm really gonna punish you for it. My throat was feeling really dry, and I asked scaredly how he was going to punish me. Jianxia walked over and started putting his hands on my cock. Like this, he growled. I was already half hard when he touched me. I started to get harder, but I didn't make any sounds because I was really scared and also horny. Oh my god. Jansha took me to his room and then put me on the bed and I started to cry behind the mask because it felt so good, and I asked him to let me, but he said no and kept doing it. I asked him to let me suck him off, and he said okay. He made me kneel in front of him, and he opened his robes, and I saw his cock. It was the most perfect cock in the world. Oh my god, I can't finish that second paragraph. That's so funny. Okay, once I had finished all of it, Jansha was happier. Come here, he said, so I stood up and he took off my mask. Wow, you're actually so hot, he said. His voice was surprised, but also turned on. He started kissing me and our tongues were battling in our mouths. He started moaning and I felt him... You know, Jansha, would you let this servant pleasure you? He moaned, yes, so I pushed him down. Suddenly he got angry and said, no. Oh god. You just gotta read this for yourself. You're so good at this. Have you ever done this before? Jansha asked. No, I never did this before, and I learned so I could do it for you, I said. Very well, continue, Jansha said, sounding really intimidating, like an emperor, and laid down on his back. When he came, he yelled Wu Ming really loud. When I came, I kissed him again and said, Jansha, it's me. I'm your believer, by accident. When I realized what I said, I got really scared. But when I said that, Jansha's eyes got wide, and he said, I don't have believers anymore. I was crying, and I said, I'm your believer. He started crying too, and then he hugged me really hard and said sorry for treating me bad, and that one believer was enough. Then we both decided to kill White No Face, and we would run away together, and then I would help him cultivate until he ascended again, and we would bring me up and to keep me as his personal sex toy that he could use whenever he wanted. We also got married too. And then it says, there's ... the end. Shalian stared at the scroll, speechless. Then he looked to the side. There was a whole stack of scrolls in the corner of the room, spilled over each other. For a second, he bit his lip, feeling guilty. Wasn't it bad to be looking through these? ... But somehow, red-faced, he reached for another. Oh, that's so good. Kate, thank you for donating. Kate says, okay, but how much money to get a Guoshi fic live read? Oh my god, how long is that one? I fucking love that fic. Oh my god. Maybe not today, but like maybe next stream. If next stream is also upsetting, we could do that for the eye bleach at the end. It is... Holy shit, it's 17,000 words? I don't remember it being that long. That's hilarious. I'd love to read it. That's amazing. This one... Oh my god, there's an audio recording available of it? And it's in Russian? His edit. Guoshi is the way Mei Nengqing's title was written, the original unofficial translation of Tgcf. The new official translation for a Guoshi is State Preceptor, but I've kept Guoshi here because I saw MXTX behind a Taco Bell dumpster at 2 a.m. while I was high on fountain soda Pepsi, and she ordered me to do so. Hope this makes sense. I fucking love Deer. Deer is so cool. Deer also has her own original fiction book. It's like a gay vampire book. And she's a fucking doctor. Do you guys know that? She's an actual medical doctor. So not only is she fucking hilarious, fan fiction writer extraordinaire, also original fiction extraordinaire, and a real doctor. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, here's the Guoshi fic again. I'll link you again. More likely than you think, right? I know there's lots of doctors among us. Among us. If you guys want to support Dear in any way, this is the author of that fic. And we're friends. Rose City Kimono says, make a special reading stream for the Guoshi fic. I could do that. Her name is Dear. Her online username is Vampire Fawn. She wrote the Guoshi fic. She wrote the fic we just read. And she also has her own original fiction. Shanla Arc Aftercare. Literally. Alright, guys. That was some good reading. We got some good reading done. Ugh. So, God. Oh my God. I just got interesting notification. Okay. Next week, I'm getting married. That's crazy. No stream tomorrow. There will be a members-only game night stream on Friday. So if you want to help support the channel, hang out and play games with us Friday at 7 p.m., you can join the membership. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. I will post what the schedule should be like on the weekend. And I feel like we might only be able to stream Monday, Tuesday, maybe. Might be crazy. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But yeah. Awesome. Be sure to check out also more eye bleach is my new video. The TikTok reaction video. Ain't nothing more eye bleach than that. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys on Friday. See you members on Friday. Everyone else probably Monday. Okay. Bye.